Rome, an empire that ruled over vast lands, shaped history, and influenced the world for centuries. But before it became the mighty empire we know today, it was just a small city ruled by kings. It became a republic, then collapsed into chaos. And from that chaos, one man rose above all others, Augustus, the first Roman emperor. How did Rome transition from a republic to an empire? How did Augustus consolidate power and change history forever? This is the story of the rise of Rome and its first emperor, Augustus. To understand the rise of Augustus, we must first look at how Rome itself began. According to legend, Rome was founded in 753 BC by Romulus, after he killed his twin brother Remus in a brutal power struggle. Whether the legend is true or not, Rome did start as a small settlement along the Tiber River, inhabited by Latin, Etruscan, and Sabine tribes. Rome's early days were dominated by kings, but in 509 BC the last king, Tarquin the Proud, was overthrown by his own people. In his place, the Romans established the Roman Republic, a government ruled by elected officials and a senate. The people swore they would never be ruled by a king again, but fate had other plans. For nearly 500 years, the Republic thrived. Rome expanded through wars and alliances, defeating powerful enemies like Carthage and Greece. By the 1st century BC, Rome controlled much of the Mediterranean world. But with great power came great problems. The Senate, once a noble governing body, became a playground for the rich and corrupt. Rival politicians used bribery, manipulation, and even assassination to gain power. Meanwhile, the common people suffered, while Rome's powerful generals began amassing their own armies. One of these generals was Julius Caesar. Julius Caesar, a brilliant general and politician, conquered Gaul, which is modern-day France, and became one of the most powerful men in Rome. But when the Senate tried to strip him of his command, he did something unthinkable. He marched his army into Rome in 49 BC, an act of war. Caesar won the Civil War and took control of Rome, declaring himself dictator for life. He introduced major reforms and gained immense popularity. But his rule was short-lived. In 44 BC, he was assassinated by a group of senators, including his friend Brutus, who feared he would make himself king. The senators believed they had saved the Republic. Instead, they had doomed it. After Caesar's death, his will revealed something unexpected. He had adopted his great-nephew Octavian as his son and heir. This young man was only 19 years old, and few expected him to amount to anything. But they underestimated him. Octavian was cold, calculating, and ambitious. He allied with Mark Antony and Lepidus, forming the Second Triumvirate to hunt down Caesar's killers. They defeated their enemies, but soon, Octavian and Antony became rivals. Mark Antony allied with Cleopatra, the Queen of Egypt, and together they posed a direct threat to Octavian's control. In 31 BC, Octavian crushed their forces in the Battle of Actium. A year later, Antony and Cleopatra took their own lives, leaving Octavian as the last man standing. The Republic was dead. Rome belonged to Octavian. In 27 BC, Octavian made a historic move. He claimed to restore the Republic, but in reality he took all the power for himself. The Senate gave him a new title, Augustus, meaning the revered one. He became Rome's first emperor. Unlike Julius Caesar, Augustus was careful. He respected traditions, maintained the illusion of the Republic, and gained the trust of the people. Under his rule, Rome entered an era of peace and prosperity known as the Pax Romana, or Roman peace. This period saw massive construction projects, a booming economy, and the expansion of Roman culture across the known world. Augustus ruled for over 40 years, longer than any Roman leader before him. He secured Rome's borders, established a stable government, and set the stage for centuries of imperial rule. In 14 AD, Augustus died at the age of 75. His final words were reportedly, "Have I played my part well? Then applaud as I exit." But his legacy lived on. The empire he built would continue for another 500 years, shaping the course of history. Rome's transformation from a small city to a powerful empire was filled with war, ambition, and betrayal. Augustus may have been the first emperor, but his rise came at the cost of the Republic. So, was the Roman Empire inevitable, or could Rome have survived as a republic? Let us know your thoughts in the comments.